Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and this video is brought to you through the EA Creator Network. So big thank you to EA for providing me with early access and a code to The Sims 4 My Wedding Stories. This software is not final, however, this is just a world overview. So I'm pretty sure everything that you see is going to be in the released version of the pack. I'm going to go through the families, their lore, and also the world in general and all the lots that are in the honestly very stunning Tartosa. I have to say, it's a very pretty world. Am I surprised by that? Not at all. I feel like The Sims 4 just does beach worlds very, very well. So starting off with the world description, romantic sights and scenery have long graced the seaside region of Tartosa, creating the perfect setting for love and matrimonial pursuits. It isn't uncommon for vacationers and honeymooners alike to return year after year, seeking to re-experience the intimacy of visits past. They say there's a love story in the making for everyone. Just ask Tartosa's residents, and they'll excitedly gossip about the local wedding industry shenanigans or the area's love-laced historical past. But even if a sim doesn't find their soulmate here, one thing is for certain, they're fated to fall in love with the land. I will say, like, the bridges that you see, there is a lot of like walkable area in this world, which I'm really glad about. I do feel like there are some very good spots for like wedding photos and like engagement photos, if that's your kind of thing. Obviously, I have mentioned this in my videos, but that's going to be a lot easier to do if you have Moschino with like the tripod and stuff. And we're going to start off with the top neighborhood, and that actually has 4 lots in it. So you have a 30 by 20, a 40 by 20, a 50 by 40, and a 30 by 30. Basically, 2 of them are already residentials. 1 of them is empty, so you can move into it. Then you also have a wedding venue on the 50 by 40, and you also have a completely empty residential lot. Terra Amorosa, a short trip up the coastline from Porto Luminoso, is the loving land known as Terra Amorosa to the locals. Whether fishing off the boardwalk, swimming at the bottom of the secluded Hideaway falls, or hiking up to the hillside to visit the area's famous lover's tree, any sim is bound to fall madly in love with the various charming sights and historic landmarks this lover's paradise has to offer. So there's like a little picnic area here. As it said, there is actually a little like private cove, which technically does only have like public toilets and then also like 2 sun lounges on, but it is quite nice. It like definitely feels like an open neighborhood. The 30 by 20 residential lot is where I actually had my Sims living. So at first glance, it's obvious this starter is a steal. Scenic views overlook Hideaway Falls, the entirety of Terra Amorosa estuary area, and the Lover's Tree. However, it's the hidden history that makes this spot so particularly notable to the locals. Shh, it's a secret though. A bit of sleuthing and you're bound to discover what makes this lot one of the best that Tartosa has to offer. I honestly didn't really find anything. There's a cave at the back of it that has like cave drawings in, but I don't think it's interactable, so I may have missed something on that front. However, Cordelia's secret hideaway was also secret and had kind of a description like this, and there wasn't actually anything to it. Next up, we have one of the pre-made families. So this is the Markovic family. They're locally renowned for their contribution to the musical side of the wedding industry. Despite having put off their own wedding time and time again, this is in no small part due to relations between them and the Laurent family being rather strained. Matteo believes that the Laurents have a stranglehold on local wedding business and works hard to retain relevance. While Lucia, I'm not really too sure, I feel like it's meant to be pronounced Lucia, her animosity is directed at Hector, a former lover. All the drama and work has kept them busy. They live on the 40 by 20 lot lot, the old wood Nectary. The woods surrounding this home create a natural barrier of privacy and peace, the perfect place for a sim seeking to benefit from the area's attractions yet retain sweet solitude. Years back, this building was a local Nectary. I so wish that was still a thing in this pack, but the establishment has since been refurbished into the home for the Markovic family. Next up is La Copia Serena. I am sorry for the pronunciation. This is the 50 by 40 wedding venue, the golden crown of Tartosa's wedding industry. Sims travel from all around the world to partake of the area's many romance-oriented accommodations, and it all comes together here on the day of each Sim's wedding. Indoor or outdoor, this venue has hosted a multitude of dream weddings and will continue to do so for generations to come, which, to be fair, the inside and outside has caused a little bit of issue, so I would delete one of them maybe before you actually throw your wedding there. And then we have the 30 by 30 empty lot, the Via Romanza, situated just off the Terra Amorosa estuary, close to the Hideaway Falls and overlooked by the Lover's Tree. Via Romanza is a prime piece of real estate. Its location in the heart of Tortosa's love industry. What will this plot of land become? The wedding industry's next big venue, a rental for the many coupled lovebirds who return on honeymoon, or simply a home for those who find themselves moved by the land's romantic ambiance. Then moving on to the slightly bigger neighborhood in this world, we have a 20 by 20 residential, a 30 by 20 rental, a 50 by 50 residential, a 50 by 40 lounge, and a 40 by 20 residential empty lot down on the beach. And this is Porto Luminoso. Historians say Porto Luminoso's name originated when pirates arrived at shore, attracted by the glowing tides, the promise of trade, and the invention of the fruit tart. Over time, the village flourished, and while still famous for its fruit tarts, Porto Luminoso's real claim to fame is its self-proclaimed title as the wedding industry's premier destination for romance and matrimonial services. We have Piccola Luce. This adorable home hides off Porto Luminoso shore on the tiny Piccola Luce island. Its decor pulls from nature around it, the sea's cerulean waters and the coast's famous apricot sunsets. There's no better home for a sim seeking solitude in a love-laced land. I imagine this lot is like perfect for like a little like romance writer. I don't know why, it just gives me that vibe, and I kind of really want to make a sim to like live in it. Then we have Villa Vagina, which is what I like to call it. It's called Villa Vigna. Visit Tartosa's Villa Vigna and enjoy Porto Luminoso's breathtaking cliffside views. Stay in and enjoy all the amenities this rental has to offer, or take a walk through the vineyards, which technically there is like decor vineyards. This kind of hypes it up. There's like one grape bush. We actually don't have anything to do with vineyards, but it is like a little path area that you can walk along. It's cute, but it is decorative. And visit the village for a small shopping trip. Just don't forget to try the local cuisine. Then we have the Tories of this town, the Laurent family. Laurent may be a newer name in the area, but the family certainly isn't. For generations, they've owned the local wedding venue, the cornerstone of the wedding industry in the area. And Hillary's family opened the first food stall in the village square back when they moved to the area. Now she's a chef in her parents' restaurant, and the local food market has flourished. Together, this family forms a wedding industry powerhouse. They basically own the town at this point, and they live in the 50 by 50 lot, the Thebe, I'm not too sure how to pronounce their surname. This is grandma's surname. I'm fairly sure she is like a descendant of Princess Cordelia. Thebe Estate is one of Porto Luminoso's historical buildings. Its origins are draped in rumor and are often gossiped about by curious locals. The Febe family, now the Laurents, have lived here for generations, as noted by their fine collection of family heirlooms. This house actually has a ton of references to Princess Cordelia and like pirates. The like little kid wants to be a pirate. I will get into the Sims, but they're very heavily like connotated to basically be descendants. Then you have the 50 by 40 lounge. I'm not even gonna try. The Lacopia Serena may be the local go-to for wedding ceremonies, but every sim knows the Demore is the best place to host a true party. Afterwards, head into the gardens for a stroll or back behind the lounge for a romantic view of the sea. And then finally, we have the empty lot on the beach, which honestly flies under the radar. I actually didn't notice this. So there's 9 lots in total in this world. Tucked snugly along Tartosa's sunset coastline, offers the best of the area, soft and sandy beaches to share with a lover, plus nighttime bioluminescent shores that are perfect for lighting up a romantic dip, and only a short stroll from Porto Luminoso. This is a really nice beach. Also, if you like live here, you'll get access to a lot of like the washed up like messaging bottles, and as stated, there is bioluminescent algae in the cove at night. So as mentioned in the family bios, there is a fair amount of lore in this pack when it comes to like relationships between the two families. I know Cam and Dom technically don't live here. You will see them like around the town along with the guy who runs the flower stall, but they don't actually have homes. You could decide to move them in if you wanted to. So this is the Laurent family, and if we take a look at their relationships, the granddaughter, Greta, actually doesn't have the best relationship with, I think this is her grandma? Maybe this technically isn't her grandma, but they don't have the best relationship. Then you got her little brother, Jace, who Jace actually, I heard that there was a little Romeo and Juliet situation between Jace and the other kid from the other family, but the relationships, obviously kids can't have romantic relationships, technical first crushes in the game, but I was expecting him, I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting him to have at least a little bit of a relationship with the girl from the other household. However, if we go to Hector, and I'm gonna call her Lucia, I'm sorry if that's not how they intended it to be pronounced, they actually have a bit of a negative relationship. She feels hurt by him, Lucia feels wronged by Hector, and being around Hector will remind Lucia of that pain. So these two definitely had a thing going on for sure. Also, I love how Hector reps the trans pride flag. What a little cutie. Also, Greta, the teenager, has big bisexual nails, which you love to see. So there are hints in these townies, and I feel like you can have fun playing with them. I feel like they very much have their own personalities and their own story. If you actually find some of the messages in bottles, Jace writes one and says like his favorite place to play is like the pirate ship play area, which is actually over here on the seafront. And Greta actually says that she really looks up to Cam and Dom and like loves how in love they are. And also like Dom complimented her artistic streak one time, and so she really looks up to those two, which is so sweet. She has her own little bicons to look up to, which I just think is freaking adorable. However, the wife, so Hillary, who is married to Hector, actually gets on really, really well with Lucia. And then if we go to grandma's, or whoever the hell she is, she actually has a negative relationship towards Mateo, because I feel like she feels like they're kind of trying to claw in on their industry. However, I do find it a little bit weird that the family bios say that these two are like into the music side of weddings, because you can't actually, and this is like something I want to talk about in like my final thoughts on this pack. Sorry, it just got really bright. Good old Manchester. However, you can't actually like have an entertainer at your weddings anymore, so it feels weird that that's like the sort of industry country that they're in, even though it technically doesn't exist in this game pack. But let's have a quick little look at their relationships as well. So this is Matteo's. He doesn't really particularly like Arnessa back. He really likes Camille. Apparently they're friends, which is very, very cute. Obviously he's got a romantic relationship with Lucia, as these two are engaged, but they keep like pushing it back because they want to focus on like their family business, which is so sad. I just want to get them married. Lucia is friends with Hilary, doesn't particularly get on with Hector, as we know. Engaged to Matteo, and then they have their daughter, Tommy, who I now want to start the little Veronaville, like, little Romeo and Juliet situation between the two kiddos, because I'm fairly sure that that was meant to exist. Don't worry, I'm not coming for Jesse's crown. I'm not going to do an entire history of. However, I will be tipping Jesse off about this, because I feel as if they're going to be very, very interested. Cordelia, Princess Cordelia, her last name was actually Thebe, or Theb, however you pronounce it. And basically, I think there's some connection to the Cap family from the Sims 2 era. Cordelia's name and appearance may be a reference to Cordelia Cap, whose father had the last name Theb before he got married. And then if you go to Cordelia Cap, obviously she was part of the Cap family in The Sims 2. She's the youngest child of Consort and Contessa, wife of Caliban, and mother of Tybalt, Juliet, and Hermia, which are all in reference to like a Shakespeare, like Cap and the Montagues, you know, Romeo and Juliet. So the whole thing is all about like, I'm relating back to Romeo and Juliet, which I think is even cuter if you do happen to play with that storyline with like the kids once they age up into teenagers. And then if you go to Hector Theb, he was actually a ghost in The Sims 2. He is the deceased father of Consort. During his life, he was married to Andromache, paper mache. He has previously lived with his wife in Roaring Heights, so he was also in The Sims 3. What the heck? There is so much going on. So his name is Hector. Obviously, Hector Laurent is probably Hector Theb. Who the heck knows? Obviously, we know that The Sims 4 is on a completely different timeline to 1, 2, and 3. However, this is very interesting, and if Jesse decides to do an entire history of, I am all for it. I'm fairly sure they might have done one about Cordelia already, so I need to go watch, because I am invested, pals. But there you have it. That is the world of Tartosa. I hope this video was helpful, kind of gave you a little bit of an insight into the families and like all of their relationships between each other. And also, obviously, if you do find the messages in bottles, you can kind of see the lore like trickling in a little bit more, and they kind of like write about each other. It's kind of like confessionals about one another. But if you have any questions about Tartosa, the townies, the world, anything like that, please feel free to leave them down below. I'm gonna go before the sun. Look at these sun flares. Oh my word, I am so sorry. Although I have to say, it does kind of feel delicious because I haven't really seen sun in a hot minute thanks to all these storms. So I'm gonna leave this video here. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.